to all my colleagues. My name is Ibadan. I'm representative of the Committee for Relevant Arts, CORA. We just try your hands to just do 1, 2, 3, and we go on. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to be here. So, my name is Nanya, and we're the co-hosts of this event. And of course, we can see what is written here, right? The CORA BOOKtrek. That's what it's called. So normally, as my colleague already said, Committee for Relevant Arts. That is the name of our organization. So normally we have the CORA BOOKtrek every month. It's a monthly reading, like where everybody comes together from different, even if you're not in Lagos, if you're in the island or the mainland, we go to we have the BOOKtrek on the island at Robin Heights, yes. So the idea of this is like a community literacy outreach. It's actually a project we're running, and it's tagged as the main edition. So let's clap. It's not easy. So this is us. It's because previously people go to the author. I don't know if you understand. Like the author comes to the island, right? And then everybody travels all the way from wherever they are and go and meet the author. But for the first time, we're bringing the author to the students. So I believe your school is around this jurisdiction, right? Magodo. So we're bringing the author to you in your community. And that's what we're doing in the consecutive months. We'll be going to different communities. We'll go to Ikorodu. Then students in Ikorodu will carry the author to Ikorodu. We go to Bariga. That's just how we're going to do it. So this is the maiden edition. And of course, the book you're holding is written by Nora Sanya, and you'll be having her here today. So it's just to explain this project to you. And I'm so excited to have everyone here. I hope you're excited as I am. All right, so I hope you enjoy your day. Do not hesitate to ask questions. I believe you've all gone through the books, right? So you're going to read, and I want you to engage the author because that's the sole aim of this project, that you engage the author, ask her any question concerning the book or even beyond, and she's going to answer you. All right. So I hope you have a great day today. All right. All right. I'm going to call on Victor now to come and continue his moderation. Thank you.
Everyone here has a copy of the book. You don't have a copy of the book? Anyway. Copy. Okay. Please someone ensure those inside. We'll be moving on. So before I engross you with so much literacy, please make welcome my colleague and co-host who will be anchoring this event with me. He would take you on the pace and about the book you're seeing here. Do you recognize this face? Who's this? How are you sure? Sorry? Someone wants to speak? Have you seen her in any movie? I'm sure she's an actor. She's the actor. Okay. So try.
written here, share the book.
It's written right there in the book. So you have not opened the book. Because nobody could tell. You're not sure. You're sure? Well, you didn't answer me when someone already did that. So let's not cheat, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tosin, Oluwa Tosin, to take us on the. You just flip to the back side of the book and you follow him through. All right, please put down your hands. As he comes up.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. Thank you very much. So the book we are reading today is titled Dear Mother. Dear Mother. And like we all rightly know, it's written by Nora Sanya. Right or right? All right, so I'll give us a summary of the book. Dear Mother is a book about Dayo. Dayo is a 12-year-old boy. Dayo is a 12-year-old boy faced with the challenges of growing up in the suburban town of Monatan in the ancient city of Ibadan. And he has to navigate through the world of friends, school, and the intricacies of a young adolescent boy. We all know what an adolescent person is. He has come from a difficult childhood, but nothing much prepares him for the world of uncertainty that life events suddenly haul him into. Experience his joys, pains, adventures, and griefs in the Loving Daddy series. Alright, so quickly, somebody said Nora is an actor. Somebody said she's an actor. I heard somebody say that. So I'll just give us a brief on who the author is. Nora Sanya is a property and entertainment lawyer with an intense passion for writing and teenagers. Her sole aim of writing is to reach out. In a bid to better understand her audience, she bagged a diploma in education from Solarin University of Education. She lives in Lagos, Nigeria with her family, where she writes and practices. So this is the part where we are supposed to receive the author. Don't you think it's right for us to receive the author? I'm asking a question. You think we should receive the author now? Okay. That, if you don't mind, can we all be upstanding? Please drop whatever you are holding. You might not need it now. So with our hands above our heads, we're going to clap and welcome the author. And we're going to keep clapping until she gets to the seat. Are we ready? Now let's together welcome the author. Let's welcome Nora Sanya. We're going to keep clapping until she gets here. I said our hands above our heads. Our hands above our heads. Thank you. Keep clapping. Keep clapping. Don't get tired. Don't be tired. Don't worry. I know you are waiting for us. So keep clapping. Keep clapping. Thank you. Keep the tempo up. Keep the tempo up. Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. You can have a seat. Thank you for cooperating. Right. So we're going to go into book reading now. We're going to read from the book. Before we do that, I'd like Victor to. Okay. All right. We're going to go into the book reading, but before then, I'd like you to settle down, be attentive, be receptive, and be open-minded. Do you remember what I said? I said attentive, receptive, and open-minded. Please jam your hands together again for Nora Sanya.
Thank you very much for coming here and for being attentive. I couldn't stop smiling when I climbed onto the stage because I'm really very excited to be around students and people who actually have read the book or are about to read the book. There's something about having a book and having the author, and there's something about reading the book without the author. So thank you so much. It's a privilege to see you, and thank you too for sharing in this story of mine. Thank you. My name is Nora Sanya. I'm an Ido woman married to an Ogun man. My husband's name is Sanya, and Nora Sanya is from Nora, then Sanya, the last name of the last part of my husband's name. So that's how I know about the name Nora Sanya. And that'll be all. So that's one thing, or those are the things I do not have on my social media page. So you get to know about them firsthand. Thank you. So, I will go on with the reading.
Thank you very much. So, we're going to the book reading proper now. I'll read mine so that you can see that I give you tasks that I can handle myself. So if you have a copy of the book, please go to chapter 1 with me. That should be page 5 as we read. So this chapter is titled Meet Mr. Dayo. Mr. Dayo walked in, holding a large wooden triangles, squares, rulers, and a packet of white and colored chalk. Someone from the end of the large classroom below, all stand, greet. We checked up and chorus. Good afternoon, sir. We are happy to see you. God bless you. Amen. Good morning, all, he answered. I picked up the duster and wiped the board. No! Screamed the students who were still trying to copy what had been written across the board to their notebooks. I am gone. Wipe the board. Just a 3 years renowned for laziness, Mr. Dayo instructed. What have they been doing since the last teacher left? They went for a long break after the teacher left. Aremu replied as he wiped the last cross and aimed the duster at the space behind the door. The duster, which looked like a detached trouser pocket, stopped with foam and sealed with stitches, rounded on the stone supporting the bamboo door, kicking up puffs of chalk dust. The silence thereafter was so evident, we all agreed in whispers that the proverbial angel had crossed from one end of the classroom to the other. Good job, Mr. Dayo gave Aremu a pat on his back. Aremu was one of the few boys in Mr. Dayo's good books, and I also used to be one of these boys until recently. So at this point, I'll hold for the next person. Please, can we have you? Yes. Sorry, I didn't ask for your name, and I apologize openly. But please clap your hands for her as she takes the next one.
Please, you're supposed to go to the front, speak your mind. Introduce yourself.
Tell us your name, your school, the chapter you're reading from.
Okay, my name is Omotosho Shijoano, and I'm from Goodbye College, and I'm reading chapter 4, page 24. I tapped gently at first, slapping her hard when she kicked again. A dream. She opened her eyes and sat up, backed against the wall on the 5-inch foam that was enveloped in 2 of her wrappers. Is it Daddy again? I said closely. She nodded. I will never forgive him. He puts me in this condition. He is the reason why I never finished school. As if the rejection by my parents were not enough, he turned me to a punching bag. She wiped the tears that rolled off her eyes. with the loose end of a wrapper and tucked it under her arm. I took her right hand in mine, rubbing her varicose veins gently. The growing pain in my groins written. Sleep caressed my chin and later settled on my eyelids with a jar of glue. When I felt Mom pull away, I laid my head on a pile of rag clothes, drifting to a dreamland. Cuckoo, coo! The instant crowing of the cock in the next compound rose me from my deep slumber. I looked at Mom, satisfied with her peaceful sleep. I sprang up and tiptoed towards the door.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we are taking the next one. School fees palaver. Let's all go there. That should be page 37. Please be prepared. It's not like we told anybody from home that you'll be taking this session, did we? So we are taking randomly. Please just come do your thing. There's no script. There's no script this time. So please come. Page 37.
The agriculture teacher had barely stepped out. My name is Ugaton Itima Annabelle, and I'm from Goodbye College. And I'm reading chapter 6, School Fees Palaver. The agricultural teacher had barely stepped out when the class split into different factions and erupted in chatter. We were so engrossed that we did not notice Miss Jojola standing in front of the class holding an A4 sheet of paper. Karika Papaya. Papa means father in pidgin. I said to Raji, going over the biological names we had just learned in our previous class, Oriva sativa. Why would my favorite rice bear such an ugly name? Raji asked. Our lips cracked in laughter. Alma patient and Isaka Bello. The two students whose seats were directly in front of us were bickering. It's Musa special, said Alma patient. It's Musa paradisiaca, said Isaka Bello. I heard the agricultural teacher say Musa special, said Alma patient. He must be dead because he said Musa paradisiaca. Isaka replied, pounding her decks. JSS 3A, Miss Jojola yelled. Bossa is here for her money again, Raji said. Lowering his voice, it dawned on me that in a short while, I'll be on my way to Badmus Stingers. Aremu, the scholarship covers half of your fees. Remind your father to come and pay the rest. Ojo, this is a week of grace. Let us disappear. You are always the last to pay your school fees. At the end of the day, at the sound of my name, I bolted. Hey, Miss General called. I looked back, thinking it was another day of grace. Make your shot before you return, she said with a contemptuous look. I felt someone tuck a neatly folded piece of paper into a hole in my shirt, patting my eyelids to look into stinging tears. My feet sprinted through the classroom. Mr. Gator, the gate man, was busy munching bread and fresh pepper for breakfast. When I got to the bamboo gate, I temporarily forgot my problems and wondered.
Okay. So the format is you go out, you tell us your name, tell us your school, then you go ahead with the reading. We're going into page 49. Tell me your name.
My name is Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, please will be taking us on the page 49.
My name is
47.
My name is Elizabeth. I'm a GD comprehensive high school. There's a heaven and there's a hell. When good people die, they go struggle to heaven when bad people die. they go to hell. Mr. Paul, the children's Sunday school teacher, said, I thought about my father for a 5 seconds. If he was if he was dying good, but who are we to judge others? Mr. Percy asked. Look into our faith. Only God can determine who will enter heaven or hell. It is beyond us. That's why Jesus promised one of the thieves on the wooden across pendulum. I learned what Mike. Why would Jesus allow the thief into heaven? Do you know here, Mr. Paul? Who was who are we to judge? Mike retaliates. Where is your father? Mike answered as we move to the Adam section of the church. In hell, maybe I replied, taking the verb. Imagine in my head of my father burning in our unending heat. Make my heart almost leap out of my lip and write vacuum. Is something wrong with you? Why will you say such a thing about my father, your father? Making bone break. Why will I, wicked God? I shout back. ATK and Unzoma was sitting beside Mr. Osupa at the front rail. She blanket and we talked without our step towards her. We, we are all a product of grace and mercy, and therefore should, should not judge other people, pray for them. Review was black and white, basement, basement on his head, balance a white metron with Mary's and cross pattern in gold and other color of yard. He waved a wooden crucifix, always remembering the cross. How exactly did Jesus die on the cross? Free me from sin. I answered, Mom, as soon as I arrive home, you should ask your friends and parents. They invite you to, to invite you to church. She said, whipping eggs in an elementary bowl with an iron fork. A huge loaf of bread balanced on the on the table.
Yeah, thank you.
Bread.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, Pastor Mike, him. No, him. Tell me your name.
My name is Authority Absar.
Great. Apology, please, we have you read page 57. Now, there's no standard reading pattern. Okay, so you just read, then we can tell you to stop. Please, I hope we're following the pages that have been read. So because there's a story in each chapter. I need you all to follow because there will be a lot of engagement after this section. Okay? All right.
My name is Absar Matoladi and I'm from the school. I'll be reading page 57. He believes that Jesus is not the Son of God, but the prophet, he also believes that Jesus did not die for our sins and never resurrected. I saw the gloom in his eyes as he responded. If he succeeds in convincing you, then you will never be a Christian. That is the basis of our faith. The sonship of Christ is death and resurrection.
Mike paused, his eyes fixed on me. Can I give you some advice? He moved closer until I could feel every breath exhale. Go on. Stop spending time with Ahmed. It will only confuse you. He's a very good man. Either better than my neighbor Amaka who walks around the house with a rosary tied around her neck. I could not bear the thought of avoiding Ahmed. Can you think of good thing your father did for you? He asked, changing the topic. I shook my head. Then think about the cross. His father's crucifix made came to my memory immediately, but I did not know what to think of it. You can have my lunch. I am not a fast. I am on a fast. I plan to break the fast at noon, but I have decided to extend it. Mike said, lifting his brown cola from the lunchbox. The aroma of well-seasoned porridge made the offer too tempting to reject. I grabbed a spoon and filled up my stomach.
Amazing.
Please come. We have it for next. Can reach page 72.
You can pass the mic to her. You know, you know, you know, put your eyes now.
I'm delivered you from Goodfine School.
Okay.
I'm reading page 72. What exactly is wrong with your mom? I asked Mr. Raymond when he finally came. She'll be fine, Dayo, he snapped. His long legs almost covering the distance between the reception and the gate. I wish he didn't have to leave so soon, as I watched him speak with the gateman. The gateman stood still, pointing in a direction. Mr. Raymond followed the gateman's direction and disappeared. I looked at the ticking red clock on the wall. 3:30, I mumbled. By now, school had closed. I wondered if Mike stood by at stood by at school to pick our bags before going home. Feeling deserted, my heart sank further in grief. Why is this happening to me? Why me? The aroma of beans and fried plantain announced Mr. Raymond's return. Even though the worms in my stomach were becoming restless, my mouth did not open. Thank you, but I'm not hungry, sir. I turned down the food Mr. Raymond had walked a long distance to buy. Take it. His former master tone had returned, but he had forgotten that we were still at the hospital. When he saw that I would not budge, he dropped the food. He bought for me beside me and got busy with but his, muching under his breath that Hazan and Peter would have rushed at it if they were still around. Dayo, please eat the food. It's delicious, he said, this time with the tone of an underdog. Yellowish tongue swept the corner of his lip clean from the orange stains of porridge. He stuck the toothpick into his mouth, wrapped the empty polypropylene bag in a polythene bag. Looking around for the garbage bin, I don't have appetite. My mother is in there. I pointed at the entrance of the female ward. A lump formed in my throat and the tear dropped. Dayo, Mr. Raymond was alarmed. The nurse beckoned. Mr. Raymond was swift. He dwarfed the nurse, the middle-aged woman whose rotting figure made her white blouse and skirt pause at the seams. Her hair was neatly tied into a blue scarf. Matron, good afternoon. Another nurse wearing a white gown brushed past her. Good afternoon, Nurse Titi, she replied, giving Mr. Raymond a note. A list of drugs for your mom. Mr. Raymond passed the note. I squinted at the handwriting, unable to read it. Even a chicken scratching a sandy surface would scroll more left. There your Reverend Uzoba entered, wearing a brown-colored French suit. His shoes made an exotic pit pat on the floor. Mr. Raymond and I rose. Good evening, Mr. Raymond. How long have you been here? Three hours since noon, when we visited the students. What happened to Miss Obalulu? Mr. Raymond took him aside and began whispering inaudibly, showing him the list of drugs. And Mr. Badmus, her employer, the vicar's voice could not be hushed. Left without an explanation and never returned. I heard Mr. Raymond say,
Thank you. Thank you.
I heard Mr. Raymond say, thank you.
Please come on.
Looking for that perfect enthusiastic reader, you know.
Reading chapter 14, the Good Samaritan, verse 7.
Hi everyone, my name is Francis Victor and I'm from HD Comprehensive High School. I'll be reading chapter 14, the Good Samaritan. The strong aroma of ogbono soup and fufu diffused the air that invaded my nostrils when Mrs. Uzoba opened the door. AJK and Uzoma hovered around the rectangular dining table, where soup bowls and plates were laid out. A medium-sized tomato red cooler sat comfortably at the middle of the table beside a small banana pot. Welcome, honey, said Mrs. Uzoba. Thank you, Reverend Uzoba, replied, heading to the room opposite the dining table. Dayo, please come with me. She held my hand gingerly and walked me to the room behind the dining section. Good evening, Uzoma and AJK, I managed to say. Good evening, they both chirped, blinking their eyes simultaneously. Will Dayo be leaving with us? I heard Uzoma's voice. Until his mother is discharged from the hospital, AJK replied. Mike was lying on his bed, face to the wall, on the lower bunk of the double-decker bed. My school bag hung on the metal rail of the top bunk, which had a bed enveloped in blue beddings. Shower and come and join us for dinner, Mrs. Uzoba hummed. Thank you so much, Ma, I said. Dayo, Mark jerked up from his bed. Mike, thank you so much. I hugged him tightly. Don't worry, your mother will be fine, Mark reassured. Mark reassured me like he was the doctor in charge. I need to get some drugs from the Yomi pharmacy for Dayo's mom. I heard Reverend Uzoba said before the entrance door opened and slammed shut. I stepped into the bedroom and turned on the tap. A gecko crawled out of a hole beside the shower pool, looked at me and nodded.
Thank you, Pastor William, the guy in front. How many people can relate to the strong smell of Ogbonne? The aroma of Ogbonne. Look at that. Okay, you can pass the mic to page 82.
Here, I'm glad I'm from Adenike College. Here, she gave the doctor a new cannula, blood pressure kit, syringes, and IV bag, bandage, scissors, and cotton wool laid side by side on the only table in the guest room. My eyes followed every inch the doctor's move till he tore the bloody cotton wool into a near piping, put off cream latex gloves, and stepped into the bathroom. What causes stroke? I asked the doctor when he stepped out, wiping his wet hands with a pocket handkerchief. There are major risk factors for stroke: high blood pressure, diabetes, heart and blood vessel diseases, high LDL stroke, cholesterol levels. What caused my stroke? Mile bailed me from the doctors on empty rant. High blood pressure. What causes high blood pressure? I asked again. Risk factors for high blood pressure include smoking, insomnia, insufficient body exercise, too much salt. Insomnia. Yes, not getting enough sleep. Doctor explained as if he did not expect him to know what insomnia was. Dayo, was she not sleeping well? Mike dropped me as I gasped at the doctor, my mind racing to the numerous nightmares. Sorry, I said, looking at mom again. Her eyes were open, staring blankly. Doctor, it has been 4 months now. When will she talk to me? I asked with desperation, gnawing at my clavicles. Hopefully very soon, the doctor had said, adjusting the stethoscope that hung on his neck. You can return after the last drip for today, he said to the nurse who had already taken her seat beside the wooden bed on which mom lay.
Thank you very much.
My name is Cindy Alaye. I'm from Refugee Complex.
Sorry?
I'm from Refugee Complex. Based on sunlight streaming through the wooden windows of the classroom, made a half moon on my desk, reminding me of nice real life stories. Ekundayo Ara Akiarota Oma Ajoberu. She would film me as we moved our stools from the one room we shared to the corridor at dusk after fleecing an insecticide. Mom, what's the meaning of Ajoberu? I would ask. Your ancestors were warriors and came back home after each conquest with slaves, and as they approached the village, each one of them would be hailed that way. The slaves they caught would be distributed to each tribe in the warrior family to serve and protect them. Slaves, I asked in horror. Yes, slaves. The numbers of slaves you had in those days determined your status in the society. Mom said, Mom, slave trade is human. I read about Bishop Ajayi Crowther and the abolition of the slave trade. Pride settled like a chip on both shoulders as I shared my knowledge. Slave trade is as old as mankind, and despite the official abolition, I read the citizens of this country not enslaved to the government. Mom had asked Dayo, why do you prefer to sit alone in the corner of the class? Mike intruded my alone time. I want to be alone, I told him, and when he would not budge, I arranged my books in my bag and used it as a pillow as soon as I learned that the teacher for the last period was unavailable. By the time Mr. Ariyo celebrated silence to Jara because the closing bell, I was fast asleep. Let us go home. I put out my bag to my desk with my head. Dayo, how are you doing? Ojo asked me, empathy. I said I blankly.
Let's have the next little compromise. Reading chapter 17 for us.
My name is Magodo and I'm from Goodman College. I'm reading chapter 17. When we arrived at the vicarage, I dropped my bag on the sofa and dashed into the guest room where my mother was strapped in bed with thick brown duvets. The dimples on my mom's wrinkled face were a soothing relief from the turmoil I felt in my bones. Welcome, Dayo. The note on her watch was very enthusiastic. I have good news for you. Your mom is now making attempts to communicate, the nurse said. Dayo, I read the motion of my mother's lips as she said my name. I stuck my fourth finger into my left ear. Was I deaf now? If an office pen has fallen onto the ground if an office pen has fallen onto the ground from the ceiling at that moment, I am sure that I would not have missed the sound. My heart skipped a beat. What was going on? It had taken months for her to be fully resuscitated. My heart had yearned to see this day when we would converse once again. I had shed tears of joy a few days ago when she finally opened her eyes, and now all I wanted was for her to talk to me. Hot tears streamed from my eyes and rolled down the collar of my shirt. Don't worry about her voice, the nurse advised. I can read her lips, but I can't hear her. It's one of the several effects of the stroke, the nurse explained. Mommy, I rubbed the varicose veins on the other hand that had no cannula, wiping my tears with my collar. The nurse shot a smile at us before our eyes drifted towards the door that creaked open slowly, as if a ghost had his hand on the door handle, until it widened just a little more for Mike to poke his head in between the door and the side jam. Is she awake? Mike whispered, and the nurse nodded in reply. Mike stepped in an inch closer to the foot of the bed, holding the bed frames firmly with both hands. His lips curved up. I saw the horror in Mom's eyes. Her pupils dilated as she beamed a smile. Good afternoon, Ma. Mike had the look of a sharp mouth as he stood gazing at my mom with bulging eyes. My mom managed a nod. Every movement seemed laborious. Can she talk now? Mike asked me. Yes, but her voice box is damaged, I replied. Mom scraped her throat and coughed lightly with her mouth open. Drops of sputum looking reddish flew out. Some landed on the sheets. Others were carried away spontaneously by the flow of air, courtesy of the prestigious ceiling fan that hung several meters above our heads. The nurse produced a roll of tissue papers and placed it in Mom's hands. She spat out thick phlegm, bright red in color. Blood, I screamed. The nurse pulled out the nose mask and motioned for us to leave the bedside. I leaned backwards and watched the nurse collect the phlegm from the tissue paper with a cultured tube. Why is she copying blood? I asked. I can't say until this is tested. She shook the textbook with its thick, vicious, brilliant red mucus. Hurried footsteps swept through the living room. Reverend Uzoba and Mike's mom peered through the door. She is coughing blood. It is an emergency. Please come immediately. Reverend Uzoba shouted at the top of his voice into the receiver, lingering at the threshold. Chronic bronchitis, the doctor said after the test results arrived. She is healed in Jesus' name. I heard Mrs. Uzoba say. I wondered how my mother could be healed and coughing out blood at the same time. By his stripes you are healed. Mrs. Uzoba brushed me aside. Her two hands landed on my mother's forehead. I need to speak with the doctor, Mr. Uzoba said in a voice that made us all scramble toward the door. Ejike and Uzoma were stationed on the sofa with books positioned in front of them as if it were mirrors. I could tell they had been eavesdropping and now pretending to read. Several donations have been made. So much money has been spent, and now she's coughing blood. Tell me, is she getting better or worse? Reverend Uzoba first, when he must have thought that we were beyond earshot. The doctor's reply faded as the guest room door slammed shut. I wondered if my mother could hear the ongoing conversation. We are eardrums also affected.
Reading the next chapter. That's it. Page 95. Dayo, come. This is Uzoba. Hold on, tell us your name, sir. My name is Ibadan. I'm a Jibikan principal. Slap me the chair. I've just sent to the one she sat on. Mike dropped into the three seaters. Sofa, his lips, his laps. Touching that of Ejike, Uzoba shifted onto the three of them were conveniently seated opposite us, and the impromptu family meeting began. Do you believe that your mom is healed? Mrs. Uzoba asked. I stood my head on impulse. If only Mrs. Uzoba could read my mind, she could know that I was struggling to get past the cloud of thought that dropped in my mind, questioning our sanity. How can my mom be healed and be sick at the same time? I asked with furrowed eyebrows. All you have to do is to mic people with agitations. Prayers are being offered every day by the prayer team in church, and our heart must be united in truth. Mrs. Uzoba continued. Prayers. I watched Ahmed pray 7 times daily, yet His wife died during childbirth. A storm slaughter. Ahmed, your neighbor, Mrs. Uzoba asked with tiny voice. Oh, if he will come to Christ, that is part of the thing. But what about Elder Thomas, whose wife lost her first baby? HK asked. Keep quiet there. Who asked you to join the conversation? Mrs. Uzoba aggression was weird for a woman with a tender voice. But Elder Thomas in Christ, Mom, Uzuma added, Mrs. Uzuba removed her dollop slippers in a gently and things their books were flying over the surface with Mrs. Uzuba moving in circular and semicircular motion. So the scene was spoiled. Amusing, my laughter was mirthless. I thought about my mother, whose life was hanging by a thread. In my head, there are gruesome pictures of possible sad endings. Fear and obsessive to their street in my mind. Closing already.
Thank you. We'll have the next reader now. We're reading chapter 19, that's page 99. You can have the reader.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Solarin. I'm from Goodbye College. I'm reading chapter 19, for Podium. By the time I joined them outside, Mrs. Uzoba was leaning against the dark wall that formed an arc around the big garage. Dayo, Mike Cole, not wanting to be drawn into another conversation on the test of faith and my need to only believe and see my mother healed. I walked towards the guava tree. A ripe fruit dropped from a branch and landed on my nose. Sorry, Uzoma tweeted, head on a branch of the tree. I rubbed my nose, which now felt numb, and sat on an empty paint rubber, turned upside down a few meters away from the tree. Please, I need to have a word with you. Mike checked in my ears, reaching into his pockets. I knew exactly what was in it, and he did not disappoint me. Adenike trotted down the guava tree. Your mother would be fine, just believe. Mike continued flipping the blue-covered pocket-sized Bible in his hand to the book of Mark. He touched his tongue with his finger and tore the pages apart until he was at Mark 11. His index finger traced verse 24. The fonts were quite tiny, and since I had no interest in reading it anyway, my eyes wandered to the guava tree. A crack in the tree trunk widened, and a significant fresh branch tore away. I knew right then that the days ahead would be more turbulent. My mom may not have had a sound knowledge of Christ and the Bible, but she knew her fetish like she knew the sound of my voice. She had taught me a whole lot about science and seasons. A tree trunk peeling off was definitely not a good sign. Dayo, Reverend Uzoba bellowed. Sir, I ran towards him. You should check on Mr. Badmos. We are out of funds. He should support us. What is going on? Mrs. Uzoba inquired. We need more money, he snapped.
Alright, thank you. While we're waiting for the next reader, please bear in mind, as we are reading, we're supposed to note questions, because there will be a point where we are going to be engaging the author.
Hello, my name is Adenike Ogunye. I'm from Adenike Ogunye High School, and I'll be taking chapter 20, Mr. Mark. Welcome to Badmos Cleaners. How can I help you? A young man of average height, in his mid-30s, clad in a brown shirt tucked in brown shorts, asked as I tapped the glass door. Affixed to the door was a price list. The protecting black standing fan shot some breeze at me when the door slid open. Powered by a high voltage, the flames were humming incongruously. A chocolate-skinned lady was emptying the contents of a red checkered huge, thick matted woven nylon. Conquered bags, also known as diamonds, go back on the black and white carpet. It's pale before service this time, the young man said to her before turning. I want to see Mr. Padmos, I said, reclining in one of the two white rubber chairs directly facing the fan. From where? I am Dayo of Alulu. My mom used to work here. Mr. Barulu, how is she? Mrs. Barulu, how is she? He asked in a voice laced with concern. That is why I'm here. I need to speak with Mr. Badnose. So how much? The chocolate skin lady asked with an impatient tone. So how much? Just a moment, he snapped, stamping the carpet with his brown shiny shoes. He disappeared into an inner chamber. He returned almost immediately, scratching the neatly trimmed ticket on his head. His hand ran through it a couple of times until he finally rested at the nape of his neck. I'm afraid he's not around, he finally muttered.
Page 104. But the sky is packed outside. I replied in shock and turned slowly, pointing at Mr. Badmore's red glove through the glass door. So how much? The lady asked again. Her legs wagging, he grabbed a large calculator and began to sort the clothes. Underwear pulled up in the heap, tops in another heap, shirts in another. A baby cockroach ran out of the heap, followed quietly by another and then another. You see, the manager yawned and he punched the calculator. See what the lady asked, a brown fowl. The clothes are super dirty and cockroach infested. I shrugged, charge you. You are more than 6'5". Young man, you cannot wait for me. You will not be here today, he said to me as I relaxed in the chair, getting a little comfortable. Is that not his car parked outside? I cried. I cried, and this time the manager gave me the look of a man who had just taken sour milk and held the door open for me to gently exit. I wonder why customer referred to him as the manager when he was actually the only employee. That's like mom. In our days as Badmus cleaner, I felt angry, went up with me, and I walked back to the Bridge and narrowly missed an ambulance. By the time I arrived, the guest room door was wide open. Where is my mother? I asked the palpi- palpitation of my heart scattering. The doctor said it is the best she returns to the hospital. Miranda Uzube pulling me into his arms and hugging me tightly. Goosebumps emerged from the right at the lower part of my head. I moved slowly through my spinal cord with the corner of my eyes. I thought Mike's mom wiped something off her face with a handkerchief. Mike looked and puzzled, and the twins were awkwardly silent. Was she the one in the ambulance? I corrected, trying hard not to run out of the house in the direction of the ambulance. We should tell him. Mike's mom finally said, the vendors Ivan Uzube cleared his throat, loosened his arm around me and made me sit. He looked around, dragged his feet on the floor, facing to and fro the bedroom, library, and the living room.
I think the next person.
Yes, my name is Brema Fulabian from Nigeria Comprehensive High School. I'm reading page 106. What I'm looking for is Uzoba asks, my glasses is short back. What do you need it for, Miss Uzoba? Miss Uzoba queried. I don't know, he replied, dabbing his eyes, which seemed red, and he took his seat beside me. Dayo, do you know a member of this family and we want you to know? That's no matter what happens. That's no matter what happens. You are never alone. Reverend Uzomba started a sermon that intensified my anxiety.
Reading chapter 21, 107 to 108.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adenike Ogunye from Divine College.
I don't think so. You see? You're streaming. Okay, let's see. Let's test.
It's meant to amplify your voice
Because they are
because
streaming.
people that are online need to hear you loud and clear. Do you have mic phobia? I know, I used to. So that is your fault. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Just keep your eyes open, okay? And then breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, that's good.
From dusk we came, and to dusk we shall return. Reverend Uzomba rounded off his sermon. The gloom lingering in the stratosphere grew stronger with sighs traveling from one end of the pew to the other. Reverend Uzomba's chubby hand firmly held a golden cross, almost the length of a lectern. His cream flowing robe swept the rostrum as he backed away from the congregation and made a sign of the cross, which is appearing behind the drapes that partitioned his office from the roof. Yes, when his flesh and heart shall fail, and mortal life shall cease, I shall possess within the veil a life of joy and peace. They had barely finished the fifth stanza of their amazing grace when the undertakers, all clad in black outfits, proceeding in two lines towards the brown polished casket. I stole a glance look at my mummy. The silky fibers of cotton wool stuck inside her nose, her hair neatly combed and packed in a bun. She looked like an angel in her flowing white dress with no shoes. Something in me snapped as the hinge of the casket creaked. I would never see her again. With her body enclosed, the undertakers lifted the casket, placed it on their shoulders, and marched out of the church like military men on a parade. It is God's will. This is exactly how God wants it. Ahmed was the first to speak among the neighbors who attended my mom's funeral. His ghost stood listening. Ewo! Screamed Mama Obina. Oh, Ewo! See what she had left behind. Amaka's voice rang out loud as I rose from my stay slumber as we approached the cemetery. Some meters away from the church, in front of the freshly dug rectangular grave, wreath in my hand, I stood like a statue. The salty light from the unstrained tears left zigzag evidence of a sorrowful heart. I managed to throw the wreath on the casket, flexing my almost numb hand muscles. In my mind's eye, I could see my mother floating over the casket and watching me with tears flowing down her eyes. With it occurred to me that I was replacing a Nollywood movie that I had watched in a bedroom of a diseased wife who had been killed by an envious husband and shot down the train of thought. Was it too late to now believe that she was healed? Mom, wake up! Push the casket open, I gasped, and turned around, as my voice seemed to have come from behind me. That was the first time I spoke since Reverend Uzaba broke the horrible news. Stop! I yelled at the man, who were set the shovels to lift spread sand and fill the vacuum between the caskets that stand below and the earth crust. They looked at me, waiting for further instructions.
Thank you. Thank you. Please pass the mic to the You continue for us to start.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adenike Ogunye, and I'm from the Bank. Bring out the caskets. My mother is not dead, I ordered. They shook their head and began to pour in sand. Stop, stop. I would have jumped into the grave but for the strong hands of Ahmed and some other men that I could not identify. Cased in their grave, I watched the caskets disappear and billows of red dust ascended towards heaven. Dayo, what is the matter? Reverend Uzoba's voice hit my earlobes as he swayed towards me hurriedly. Words had reached him that I was becoming a nuisance. I believe I muttered. You believe what? That my mother is only sleeping. He wagged his index finger and the hands around me loosened. Jailbird freed. I walked towards the grave and knelt in front of it. As the crowd disappeared, numerous hands rubbed my head and fell with light thoughts on my back. Arms hung around my neck as people left in droves. As people left in droves. The look in the eyes of sympathizers as they expressed their condolences heightened my grief. Sympathy was the last thing I appreciated. Let's go, Dayo, Mike said, placing his hands on my shoulder. When I would not budge, he yanked my arm in an attempt to pull me up. Ouch. Dayo, let's go. Dad is waiting. Even though I did not want to leave, I followed him to a dark blue BMW car, parked a little distance from the cemetery. The driver's head was on the steering, his eyes encased in dark rimmed glasses. His black shirt had the inscription RIP, and there was something familiar about him. I wanted to ask Mike about the driver, but for the look in Reverend Uzoba's eyes as he fastened his seatbelt, his stout frame filled up every inch of the front seat. Mike had already opened the rear door of the car, so I climbed into the back seat peacefully and rubbed my eyes from time to time as we journeyed away from the cemetery, hoping it was all a trance. Mike let me lean on him, even though there were more than enough seats for both of us at the back of the car. Someone wants to have a word with you, Dayo, said Reverend Uzoba when we arrived at the vicarage. He alighted and yanked open the red door, so Mike would follow him. I sat back with the familiar stranger, the driver, my mind losing. When the entrance door of the vicarage slammed shut, I lurched. What exactly would this man say to me other than sorry? A word I had come to love. If sorry could bring back my mother, if sorry could heal me of my childhood trauma, if sorry could pay my next term school fees and provide me a home and the warmth of a mother, then sorry was acceptable. He peered at me through his dark rooms and his scent brought back sad memories of my father. I could never forget that throne. It was the throne of my father. It was the clothes my father wore on Monday morning to his office after thorough clean up from his Sunday night hangovers. Chasing fantasies, I mumbled as I recalled its brand name. I watched him struggle with his seatbelt. Did he have to dismount? I was straining to keep my eyelids apart after too many nights of elusive bargaining with sleep, but when he took off his glasses, I felt a knife pierce through my eyeballs, wedging my eyelids. How on earth did I miss that sense until now?
Everyone, my name is Buddha Pete. You, what are you doing here? What do you want? A muscle in my jaw developed uncontrollably as we stare at each other closely. Is that how you receive your father after half a decade? He asked. My father, deceased. I spat, pushed the door open, and ambled towards the entrance door of the vicarage. half expecting him to follow and pounce on me as he had done so many times in the past. As I drew closer to the gate, the white drops that hung apart on the front windows of the vicarage, overseeing the ball fence that held the gate in place. Much use of hushed voice followed. That you have to forgive your father. The vicar wheeled as I pushed the door open. Not even you, not even you, not even if you throw me out of your house, never. I replied with the audacity of a child who has grown wings overnight. My voice swept through the vicarage, pushing out Mike and his brother from their Dayo, Miss Usaba was about to start preaching when I pushed out right hand, my right hand, palm raised vertically. Her beautiful face lost its color, and the words squeezed. Though I came across as disrespectful, I did not care. The silence that followed was stately until the gate slammed shut and footsteps approached the entrance door before we heard two quick knocks. I fled to Mike's room, which I now shared, and had a good cry. I did not know what my father told Reverend Uzoba through his short visit or when he even left. I didn't even know I managed to fall asleep. Things happened so fast that I could not get a grip. But by the time I woke up, the tense air in the vicarage had followed out the window and Walnut in Mrs. Oba's voice told me that I had won my fight to remain the foster son.
My name is Shubi Mudamen and I'm from Putwine School. I'll be reading chapter 22. At the end of the second term, I was overjoyed to have passed all my subjects, narrowly escaping the 15th position out of 35 students. Come here, Dayo. Reverend Uzoba stood up from his chair and pulled me into his arms, rubbing my head. Please try and put our debts behind you, he said. I'm trying, sir. Tears boarded in my lacrimal glands and I cleared my throat. Please try harder, he pleaded. A board sheet in hand, Mike moved closer and wrapped his arms around us. Mike, Reverend Uzoba rubbed his head too. I am the most fortunate man in the world, with 4 brilliant boys, he said to his wife in the afternoon, when we sat at the dining table for lunch. Mommy, I came first in class and so did Mike. Adenike chirped playfully. Mommy, I came second, Uzuma said moodily. You did well, Uzoba replied, stretching his hand across the table, taking Uzuma's hand in ours. Uzuma, why are you unhappy? Reverend Uzoba popped the rhetoric. I am not even in support of the grading system, Ms. Uzoba said. Why? Reverend Uzoba asked. Really? The grading system engenders strife and unhealthy competition. Learning is supposed to inspire creativity and innovation in children, not this pride we see that comes from outscoring peers and a system of comparative analysis of cumulative scores. I agree with you. The design for the highest scores makes students cram, and cramming snuffs out the wit for invention. Uzuma, do not allow mere scores on a sheet of paper to affect your mood. Ms. Uzoba tried to comfort him, but Uzuma did not look comforted as he picked up spaghetti with his rubber fork and threw a look at Adenike. Adenike cut his boiled egg into 2 equal halves and picked up one of the halves with his fork.
I hope we're enjoying ourselves. I'm enjoying myself here.
Good everyone, my name is Remlekin and I am from Unchained High School. Thief, Uzuma said. Why did you call him a thief? Reverend Uzoba who has voice. left the anger in his filtered because he ate his egg first. I don't understand. Is the egg not on his plate? His master moved slowly from Reverend Isabel to his mother. Growing up, my mother told me only a thief eats the egg first when served. Mrs. Uzaba began. Did she also tell you why? Reverend Uzaba asked. Because that way, people would think he was not served an egg when they meet him eating halfway, she explained. In drama, with our many youths and legends, we should not teach our children our crude ways. Reverend Uzaba said with a smile and picked up a glass of water. The sounds of our cutlery and plates did the rest of the talking until Uzuma jumped up from his seat, holding his empty plate. I finished first, he said, racing to the kitchen. Ejike scooped all the spaghetti left in his plate into his mouth, which he would have eaten conveniently in 2 forkspoons. His mouth expanded as he chewed. His mouth expanded as he chewed with comfort. He put back his chair and ran after Uzuma. These two are always in an unhealthy competition. Mrs. Zuba said to no one in particular. Let me be. It's always the case with twins. Reverend Zuba said, pushing his almost empty plate towards me. Thank you, sir. I took the plate and spooned some spaghetti into Mike's plate. I wanted you to have it all. Reverend Zuba remarked. I want Mike to have some. I replied, feeling special.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
My name is Olu Joseph Onwadikpo. I'm reading chapter 33, Solution Search. Boju, oh, I go for a while, lose the handkerchief tied across my face, and I began to search. Mike, I called as I combed the choir robing room, the pews behind the door, and around the Viscount's office. Voices rang loud from the inner chamber of the Viscount's office. He is a boy. Why let him be dead to you? A beggar has no choice. His father dropped the check for the welfare department. Twice the entire money we spent for the mother's treatment. I don't care what his father may have done in the past. Isn't it obvious that he my elders, the boy in question, has been separated from his father for almost a decade. Reverend Uzoba replied, and I heard Mike's mom shout, careful boy. Mike slid out of the staircase basement, colliding with a boy who was heading to the loo. I ran as fast as I could to catch up with him before he could take cover. The elders in the church today had a meeting with my father, and you were the subject of the discussion. Mike said to me at that time, me? I shuddered as the voices I heard in the afternoon began to make sense. They are not comfortable as my father took you in, especially after your father showed up. They don't even want to hear about your next term school fees. They insisted that you don't qualify as indigent. What was the conclusion? I asked Mike, sweat gathering in my pores. My dad either get in touch with your father or foot your bills. He sounded unhappy when he was telling me more. My heart sank. I did not want to be a burden to Mike and his family. I would prefer to remain in the vicarage and run errands for you than to go to my father. I pleaded with Reverend Uzoma. First thing in the morning, dropping on both knees in front of him when he emerged from his bedroom with a bell in hand and his loudspeaker. Where is he coming from? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll have the next week. All right, next reader.
morning, everyone. My name is Francis Christiana. Where is this coming from? Yeah, I cannot bear the thought of living with him. It killed my mother. We will discuss this when I get back from the morning cry. Now run along and do your chore. Arranging the throw pillows on the sofa and the laces on the headrest. Uzuma sweeping the living room and Mike sweeping outside. I decided to sweep the kitchen. To my dismay, Mrs. Uzuma had beaten me to it. Wrapped up wrapped of half in the transparent nylon lay on the kitchen table beside a huge stainless bowl. The kettle on the green poker dot stove whistled, shooting steam at the ceiling. I tiptoed towards the dustbin and found it empty. Dayo, please get me sugar from Adamu's shop. Mrs. Uzuba instructed, drawing a 10 naira note from her purse. I ran out of the house and all the way until my eyes rested on a wooden plank the sales boy needed teaching to me. Stopping in my trap, I drew closer to the owner of the pail, which was just before Adamus. Please, is this offer still open? The owner of the pail took a quick look at me and continued arranging his wares. Are you not the son of Obalulu, the boy who would rather live with strangers than his own father? He sneered. Drenched by the cold response, I galloped to Adamusha with the speed of a loaded tire. Dayo, 3 wraps of sugar. I replied Adamu with my eyes glued to the floor. Shintan, she laughed here. He stood in front of me, waiting for me to look up. That Hausa, I replied, noticing his grimace as he exchanged the sugar tied up in a cone-shaped tiny cellophane for the morning in my outstretched hand. Sugar in my pocket, I pushed to the building site opposite where laborers were pouring mixed concrete into the rectangular plan.
All right, thank you. What the next, are we enjoying ourselves? All right, before we go on, please let's clap for those that have read so far. Let's appreciate it. Thank you, you have done well. Let's go.
Is Adenike Ogunye, and I am from HB Officer High School. Is this the first time you have seen where blocks are being molded? A liberal asked, his eyes lingering on me. Yes, I said, my tongue moving to the side of my cheek as my mind composed a question. How much do you earn per day? Per day we earn per trip 20 naira. In reply, my mind raced as I calculated if I could take 10 trips. That would be 200. 20 trips equals 400. All I needed for my school fees was 1,500 naira. Overjoyed, I looked around for my empty head pan. Are you sure you can do this job? Why not? I shot back. Moments later, loud farts escaped my anal cavity when he balanced a concrete pan on my head. I tried to move quickly with the other who were heading towards the foundation of the house, where a bricklayer was leaving the mixed concrete with a trowel and a spade, but my legs felt light under my head. Get the pan off
Get the pan off the head of that little boy, the man who looked like the sight manager should. I would I would have thrown off the head, but my trips wouldn't dare such a task. My head leveled with my travels, and 10 minutes after a murmuring neighbor took off head pan, I would not feel my neck. Who put that head pan on the little boy? The manager tenor did not fulfill his reach. He told me he needed a job. The laborer who engaged me replied, "Who is in charge of this site?" The manager asked the laborer, poked his index finger at the manager's chest. I rumbled my thumbs together and tried to put my neck to where it was before my fruitless adventure. So why did you not inform me about the boy before fixing? The manager continued. The laborer folded his lips and arms, inching away as the manager moved closer to him, poking his index finger in his face. How many times do we have to do this? I remember the sugar in my pocket and the speed of by the time I arrived, everyone was waiting for me at the dining table. A medium-sized rectangular one held akara balls. Hot, steaming pan in small dishes lined the table. Yes, you smell like a laborer, Miss Uzoba said as I gave her the sugar, her eyes darkening from my sweating face to my blue strip top streamed with mixture.
Alright, thank you. This one, please. Thank you. Please use the mic.
My name is Salah and I'm going to be reading chapter 24. As I lay down on my bed for the afternoon siesta, it occurred to me that I was out of options, being underage. Being underage was a great disadvantage as no one would employ me. I recalled the sneer from the owner of the kiosk that I had expected to hire me. How did he know about my father? Was I now the talk of the town? The fact that people around me about my predicament and saw me as a rebel was another disadvantage. I turned my neck sideways, rolling the thoughts in my mind. The pressure from my head pan had not completely faded. I had lost the option I needed to solicit from the parents. Just as the thoughts leapt in my mind, Mom's voice echoed, "Have I not warned you never to beg?" With the voice came other memories and a particular event that I would never forget. Mom was fast asleep on that fateful day. The palm tree that once stood tall, towering far above the roof at the back of our house, laid on its back with palm kernels scattered all over. I placed the spoon on the sandy floor, a kernel on top, and shelled it. A purple rubber dish with gari soaked in it received the palm kernel. The meal was far from delicious, and most of the kernel had overstayed their time on earth and had begun to rust. The aroma of cooked beans and plantains escaping the lid of the pot in the kitchen made the angry worms in my stomach bite harder.
Please, can I get some food? My nurse put the kitchen window net, and I saw Ahmed. Dayo, you may fear, you may fear for, it made me fear for his hand on his head, chest and his eyeballs bulging. I'm hungry, I replied, drumming my stomach. Bring plates, he said with a nod. Overjoyed, I ran into the house and almost pushed our door open when I remembered that mom was a light sleeper. Pushing a basket of plates for a dish would be the most terrible move. A cookie door would be the first sound crying. Removing my hand from the door handle, I went to the kitchen where Ahmed was waiting to dish my food. My mother was asleep inside. I said with pleading eyes, "You can eat with us, invited," adding another layer of beans to the steaming mound in the blue pots like it on the kitchen.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Have the next reader now. Just take it from the piano.
No, she said, pointing at the jar that held beautiful sets of iron spoons. I had barely settled down when she screamed, Ila Masa Allah. Taken aback by a sudden exclamation, I watched her face just before a boom landed on my face 3 consecutive times. I fell on my face, almost spilling the beans. Havana warned you never to beg. Mom repeated her question over and over again as she swung the boom again, as if I was a pot of boiling away leaves that needed mashing. Kai, Ahmed intercepted it. I watched my mom struggle with her men and took to my heel, feeling my bleeding head and back, wincing as I pulled out both sticks. Have I not warned you never to drink? Her voice echoed again and again as the images disappeared. Tears welled up in my eyes and rolled down my cheeks freely as I diminished the idea of joining the beggars under the bridge at Evil Road. Jaya, why are you crying? Mike pushed aside his novel and moved closer to me. I have run out of options. How will I go to school? Is it because of what I told you yesterday? He paused, waiting for me to reply and then continue. Why worry when you can pray? Give me your hands, he said and grabbed my hands. Heavenly Father, we thank you for being good and for being our Father. We thank you because this very need is taken care of. Mike, are you praying or thanking God for what he has not even done? I asked, sealing my lips afterward until he said, in Jesus' name we have prayed, amen. I managed to echo an amen and force a smile when Mike flashed his teeth saying, it is done, darling. This one is settled.
All right, thank you. The next question. Next question. Are you ready? Yeah. So you have good.
Okay, everyone. My name is Dayo. I'm from District of From whom the verse yesterday asked the delivery man. The delivery man turned blankly and walked away, looking over his shoulders. Reverend Elizabeth felt the envelope with shaking hands, his eyes showing and delivery man as he became. A dazzling smile swiped the spiteful look as the Reverend's tongue opened the brown envelope. He continued smiling. His face shone handsomely, and the memories of the day he received a community award for his contribution to the growth and development of S.P. John Secondary School.
Yeah, I think we can stop there. Thank you. What is your name? What is your name? So, hey, hold on, you passed about someone. When you already did it, no. You already. Oh, that would be like history. Sorry?
What? Okay, very fine. Okay, what's going to happen is we're going to go deeper now. So we'll be reading and reading, So now it's time for us to interact with what we'll be reading. Time for us to engage with the content of, that. Let's do that. So you're going to ask questions. I think everybody here read something. I can pick anybody, but I won't pick anybody now. I'll allow you to stand up voluntarily of your own accord. Ask questions about what you read or something you feel is engaging. You can bring it up and let's talk about it. But if you don't, then I'll do it. So the floor is open. Author is right there. Follow you. You have a question? All right. So I have someone here. Please say you pass the mic back.
The question is actually for the author. I want to know why she made the book, why she wrote the book.
You want to take all the questions or you make it one by one? Okay.
I wrote the book for several reasons. I wrote the book because I wanted to write, and I'm an author, an author's wife. This is my third book. I wrote the book because I wanted to engage with teenagers like you, and because I had a desire to reach out to teenagers that I've watched from a distance and even closely, suffer from the issues they have in their home. That's why I wrote the book. Thank you.
Are you satisfied? Okay. This specific reason why you asked that question?
No, well, yes, because most authors write books because.
Please, then you have the mic.
And because most authors write books because they have a specific reason. There must be a reason why you must do something. Something must motivate you. That's my question.
Okay. All right. Your name, please, for your question. If you have a question, go to the front for the camera.
So, what is it inspired to?
Okay, I think that's a little deeper from the question that you asked. What inspired me to write the book? My nature and natural environment inspired me to write the book. Because growing up as a child, there were times in my home that there were issues, and I didn't quite like the way my parents resolved them, and it affected me because most times my thoughts would be on them. Now there was no domestic violence in my home, but I felt they could have handled their issues better. So it actually inspired me, and then I saw children, like I said earlier, from homes that had real grave issues and how their lives were while they were in school. So that was my inspiration.
My name is Adenike Ogunye. My name is Adenike Ogunye. I want to ask why the names Obalulu, Dayo, and Ajubelu.
Are you asking for the meaning or asking why the names? Why the names? Okay, Obalulu means, okay, so you say why the name? The name, like I said earlier, I'm an Edo woman married to a Yoruba man, and these are names that were handed to me in writing because, of course, I knew the meanings of the name. and I felt they were very relevant to the story. So that's why. So probably if I wear an amaka from Igbo, I would have used Igbo names. So that's why. Pass the mic.
My name is Omotosho Joy. My question is that why do you make Dayo's mother hate like all religion? Like in the book, she didn't like Christianity, Muslim or anything. She just hated it for a reason. So like that's my question.
Well, I didn't make her hate because you would think the authors, the characters they have lives of their own. So I didn't make her hate the religion. She hated the religion because okay, now the story has a background. She met her husband who, battered her while they were married in church. So that itself made her hate church. Now her mother and father, that is Dayo's mom now, Dayo's grandparents, background of the story too, were, traditional people. So she grew up in that environment. You understand? And then when she ventured into, church going because her parents were going to church, she met somebody she felt, was perfect for her, and then turned out to be bad. So she felt she actually made a mistake, and then she hated the religion because of what she encountered in that process. Yeah, so that's why.
My name is Adenike Ogunye, and I have a question. If Dayo was a real child, what would be the advice you would give to him? Either to go back to his father or to remain with Reverend Uzoba as far people in the society were discriminating against him.
Okay, I like the context of your question. As per people were discriminating him. So you want my advice now to be based on the fact that he needs to make a decision based on discrimination. But I would ask him to follow his heart because as a child, I remember being very concerned about public opinion, and it made me a shape of that brother. If you don't follow your heart, your inner man, your conscience, your intuition, the Holy Spirit for me, you don't follow that voice inside you directing, you're going to make mistakes. So I would ask Dayo to follow his heart. But if you want a deeper answer, then you have to watch out for my next book, Bound, which is number 2 in the series. Thank you. Okay. Can you pass the mic to the back? Okay, she's coming to the front. Come here. There's no more passing the mic. Passing the mic, that's fine. So I'll put the mic holder. That's fine. Please use the mic.
What motivates you to writing and keep writing?
What motivates me to keep writing? Because okay. Okay, so Victory, what motivates me to keep writing is the fact that I'm a writer and writers write. And I love writing, it's my passion. I am a lawyer by profession, but I enjoy writing, even much more than I appear in court. So that's why I keep writing. It's just in me. Okay, we're not passing the mic, we're going forward.
My name is Madiko Jessica. So my question is, who was the real villain of the story? Was it Mr. Diary for causing her trauma, or Mr. Badmos, or the three musketeers for everything that they did in their life? And explain your answer. Why?
Villain of the story. I would have preferred you answer that question because you read it. Me, the writer. Okay. The main antagonist and then the main protagonist. Okay, the villain in the story for me is Dayo's father. The reason why he's villain in the story. But because every child deserves a right to protection from a family. Every child deserves quality education. Every child deserves good food. And the fact that he was quite unreasonable in his approach to dealing with domestic issues made him, dislocate Dayo from that nature and nurture environment that would have been perfect for his upbringing. If not for the fact that Dayo's mother was doing everything she could to help him, he would have been on the street.
Now, I saw the storyline and I was
But the thing I don't understand is why, what gave you the inspiration to name it Dear Mother? I don't get
Dear mother, if you saw the storyline and understood it, so how come you're still wondering why I named it Dear Mother?
what gave you not like the name doesn't fit it. It's just what gave you the inspiration to name it Dear Mother?
Okay, since you've answered the question by saying it's not like it doesn't fit, well, I think the name fits. That's why I gave it Dear Mother.
Wow.
Why? Because the name fits. Come forward before you speak and make sure you're facing the camera so your face can be captured.
Mother died, and when she died, I knew that she was going to love her. But when it's actually my sister, he is always to his father. Then so then his father, if his mother dies, then does not mean like
Name?
sorry.
Monisala feels since the mother died in the story, then it doesn't fit.
When she died, and it was
Distracted. I need to understand what she's saying. Yes, please.
she means that the mother died in the story, and why are you still in India when the mother died?
Because the mother died in the story. Well, we all have parents now. That somebody dies does not mean they no longer exist in your life, even if it's in dream of memories. So the mother did all she could for Dayo while she was alive. She raised him well, taught him not to beg, did all she could to work from dawn to dusk, 9 to 5, and even serving in other capacities just to bring him home. I thought that was profound. There are lots of mothers who are more interested in nationality than peace. So that's dear mother. And I know how much my mother has worked tooth and nail to ensure that I am here, in spite of prevailing circumstances. So that's why.
My name is Petra, and I want to ask you, why did you put Dayo's father as villain in the story? Because I don't want to be gender based, but most fathers nowadays in many books are now the villain in the story. Why not a mother to make it more?
Okay, you're very correct because I remember that at the launch of the book, the special guest of honor, one of them was like, "Can we have dear father? Why should we be dear mother?" So I totally understood. I felt like it was gender bias, but sincerely, I did not really mean it that way. Yes, I used Dayo's father at the beginning of the story, but when I was using, just like the Bible says, man was made and it was man and woman, I wasn't really referring to a particular gender, even though I used a man. I had to use a man because of the way the story came and the inspiration I had. And of course, the dots I could connect in my imagination and with the observation around me, I actually had to use a man to make it work. So maybe I would work on dear father. Don't worry.
Yes, my good. I want to ask, all your story books to just educate only we teenagers, or there are different types of story books that are for all ages?
Ibrahim Afolabi, thank you. If you look at some to the back of the back page of the book, if you're there, you will notice that I have other books. So I have God's PRO at the extreme end, the last page, 145. There's God's PRO. It addresses a Pentecostal church. And then I have the New Week. It addresses lawyers. I also have Ungodly Desires. So my books are not only for teenagers, but the ones I have in print are just for teenagers. Thank you. Another question? Okay.
Somebody. Am I hearing someone's sound? Not my man, no, that guys. Come on. Guys. Head boy.
My name is Adenike Ogunye, and I want to contribute to what we said over her question. If Dayo's father is the main antagonist in this story because he was the one who actually gave rise to other antagonists. If he wasn't a wicked father to Dayo, then there won't be people like Mr. Diary, there won't be people like the Three Musketeers to also add to his trauma, his childhood trauma. Yeah.
Thank you for that outstanding contribution. I see you comprehended the book. Well done. Okay.
I would like to ask, what? I forgot that. I would like to ask if you were also the author of the Yoruba and Hausa quotes of the storyline.
What's out of the words Yoruba and Hausa?
Yeah. All the questions will be right here.
The name first.
My name is Ibadan.
Is
there any part of this book that is related to your life?
What?
That is related to your life?
So my life.
Yes.
I was looking for that.
I was actually waiting for that question.
No, I think you should stay here. You have more questions. You have more questions. Okay, you still come again.
Okay, you still come again. Like I said, growing up as a child, my environment at times was unsettling. So that's part of having subtle disagreements that most times exceed the parents' take on outflows to the children's take on. You begin to know something is wrong in the house, and you begin to hear issues, and probably they end up making you the judge, and you're wondering how does this concern me. So that's actually is a part of my own story, that's entered into the book at some point. But generally, it's more observation, like I said, from my environment and also inspiration from my imagination. So that's it.
Wow. All right. Let's have questions. No more questions, man?
My name is Latiful. So my question is, the name of this series is Loving Daddy series. My question in particular is how does this novel fit into the series? Since the father here wasn't actually loving, his name is Loving Daddy series. Like, why?
That's the irony, right?
Yes, that's okay, fine. So there are actually two books, and this is the this is the first installment. Dear Mother. The second book is Homebound, which is the second and the final installment. So I wouldn't really want to get into Homebound, but I think I have to at this point so you understand why I named it Loving Daddy. Loving Daddy actually this is the first, and it's actually like the first step on the rung of the ladder. It explains the background of what would be occurring in Homebound, which is the next series. And so if you read Homebound, you will end up understanding why it's Loving Daddy series. I think I want to leave it at that because I love suspense. If you notice in most of the pages there are cliffhangers, that's the way I work. So if you want to understand how it fits, you need to read Homebound. Thank you.
My
name is Reminiscing. I have a question about the why didn't you just make the woman, the mother, stay alive? And because when I was reading it, I thought she was still going to stay alive. And a lot of stories I used to read, like I used to believe them. Once they said that mother falls sick, stuff like that, I know that next thing the woman will give up close. So I just want to ask, why didn't you just let her stay alive and let them face other threats, like maybe from people above, like king or something like that, even if it's not even bad, like maybe other like friends of the mother, the father, and something like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This was the same question one of my reviewers at the book launch asked. Why would Dayo's mother die? Why? You made me cry. Why? And I was like, well, I'm sorry to have made you cry, but she just had to die. Now, yes. Okay, let me satisfy you now. Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. Now, if you notice the trend in the book, from when she was having sleepless nights, when she was fighting, when she was sleeping, when she was saying she was never going to set her eyes on Dayo's father again. Like, your words are prophetic. You understand? And then she carried a lot of grudges inside her. Who lives with grudges? I don't know who lives with grudges, but over the years, I've realized that when you try your best to live at peace, the peace itself propels you to actually not just live longer, but to achieve things, in life. So I believe that the reason why she died, because I didn't kill her, she died, is because she couldn't sleep. She was working very hard. She was earning very little. She had a lot of malicious thoughts in her heart towards her ex-husband. She had grudges, and this in itself was a burden. And then she couldn't bear it anymore. It resulted into diseases that were beyond her control. High blood pressure, she couldn't treat it because she didn't really have the resources. And then stroke. It takes the grace of God to survive stroke. You understand? So that's why she died. Not I didn't kill her. Thank you.
I think Adam has one more question.
Okay.
Adam and Eve. That's one more question.
Awesome.
I want to ask, what advice will you give someone as a teenager who is going through the same problem?
The first advice I would give is please forgive your father or your mother, please. That is the first advice I would give. Now, I'm not saying you should reconcile with them if they give you a toxic environment. If you have the opportunity to stay away from them, it's fine. But that forgiveness is needed. Because that's why Dayo's mother died. You can't carry burden in your heart. Other things will spring up. It could be diseases, it could be lack of focus and concentration. I remember reading Sarah Perry's book, Higher is Waiting, and he went through a lot of things, in terms of his growing up with his father and all of that. And he said something that he didn't forgive his father. He felt as if something cut loose in his heart. So it's really important. So that's one advice I'll give. That's the first among many others. You need to find help. That's it.
I think that we are all satisfied. We will answer.
Sure, from here. Sure. From here, from my right, are we good? From my left, we're good. Wait, you can echo yes. You're good? Yes. What? Yes, sir. That means the author deserves a round of applause. We're going to do something real quick. The author will describe, so we take the pictures in this order. So people have Ibadan. We'll have all the medical grapevine come up here.
Fine. Why you all cramped up in one? Why you all cramped up in one side? Hello, everyone, come back for your books. Madam, your book is upside down. Your book is. Nora, you're the author. You need to come.
Oh, you guys keep it.
He's rushing.
He's trying to banner.
Yeah, so those are the back. Where your book is good there. You can lift up that chair. You need to put your face so that we can see. She doesn't need that chair anymore. Just bring it out. Can somebody move that chair for me? Hello there. How do you take that? Teacher, where's your book? Sorry. Where's your book? I can't see it. I can't see it. Very high. I can't see it. Go back.
What will the teacher be?
Victor, can you come up? Yes, okay, that's better. Hello.
A good smile.
Hello, you're covering your face.
So, can we all say Cora? 1, 2, 3.
Cora. Stop, teacher, I can't see that book. Just lift it up. Fantastic. Okay, want to go? Thank you. Sit down, educate.
Also, please remain.
Take your book. Take your book. If it's time, come out. Come out. Come out. Don't sit anywhere. Nora, you are tall, so you need to be behind somewhere.
Don't lean on the banner. Don't lean on the banner. I'm telling you, they just said, wow. Adam, only you. Among
Hello. Who behind you? You're blocking that. Hello. You're blocking that. Who's behind you? The whole idea of you coming there is so essential. Guys or God even predict if you don't smile, we're not going to take this picture against, we're not going to do this thing. Madam teacher, your book. Okay, so Cora starts. Cora starts. Cora starts. While they're coming, Cora starts. Anybody that has anything to do with Cora? Victor.
Let me give you one shot. Come
That's not kind.
Yes, one year.
I know when you know segment. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We're now in the segment where we have a book signed. I believe we all have a copy of the book. So you just come. Okay. So we'll start from the back. The last becomes first. Sorry, one by one. No. This is going to be scattered. How do we have people coming back? I learned some other people have more questions. Yeah. So what's going to happen is after this segment, we'll have a bit of some more pictures. Then while we're having refreshment, you can engage with the author who's still here. So just throwing your questions, you guys talk about it. There really stops in there. I didn't hear. So, but yeah, I think I'll hear them in the next question segment. Well, when you have your book signed, you come this way. Please come this way. So 3 at a time. Please come this way. Adam. Wait. Sorry. Behind Adam.
Okay, control this number. Can just do it there. Right. Yeah, I don't want to. Waiting for you to sit down.
Well, if you've gotten your book signed, just come straight into the conference room here. Chair. No. In your own chair. One person, one chair. So everybody in the conference room, you have your books signed.
Everybody has had like The picture now. So we are coming to the end of this program, and on behalf of CORA, the Committee for Relevant Acts, and UBA, Unchained Vibes Africa, I want to thank everyone who participated, ranging from the students to their teachers who presented here, and of course the drivers as well. Thank you so much for gracing our events. And we're hoping that all of us have toured all around Lagos, we'll be able to still come back to this exact point. And most importantly, I want to thank our author, who is here right beside me, that came all the way from, I think, Lekki, right? And Jalijo. You can imagine all that. So we brought time here for you. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to everyone who organized, photographers, and UVA, and I believe you enjoyed yourself. Yes. And I think you're going home different from how you were when you came, right? I'm so happy to do that. So I wish you a safe journey back to your school. Thank you so much. So do you want to say any last words to them before we end the lecture? You have to say last word. When I was writing the book, my desire was to reach out to children. So being in a room with teenagers meeting for the first time excites me. So please, can you put your hands together again for CORA? It's been quite true for me, and I also trust God that as you go on life, you won't be able to in Jesus' name. Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. Now we're officially closed, but we're not closed. That's fine. So don't go home. We have some refreshments for each and every one of you. Now we're going to take our team picture.
I like that you usually say refreshment. Yeah, your questions. Yeah. I love that.